Hello, guys, and welcome to Truth and Transparency. Happy Sunday evening. Sorry for the couple minutes. Oh, there you go. Sorry for the couple minute delay. I'm great. What's up, Bella? How are you?
Good. How's chat this Sunday?
Oh, no. Probably anxious because I started probably anxious.
You're always late, though. It's worth waiting for, right?
I'm not always late.
You're always maybe 2 minutes late at least, right?
Better late than pregnant, right? Check it out, y'all. Check it out. All right. Just trying to kill a couple of minutes here as the notifications kick in. Again, hello to everybody in chat. Welcome to Truth and Transparency. Sunday night. Midge, Boosh, Floydy. What's up, Boston? Anaphylaxis, how are you? Francis the DJ. Yeah, it's been a minute. Becca Bennett about to lean on it. Alice, Pittsburgh. How'd you guys do today? My Browns are on a bye week, so. Twisted Vanilla. Again, I'm just taking a look at chat. I thought it said hi, BJ, but Floydy's just talking about BJ's. Oh, okay, there was somebody in chat, BJ. I'm just messing with you. Red Ruby, like the name. Sandra. Ashley, oh, look at her. First one to get in here. Can't wait.
Ashley Leith.
Again, hello, everybody. What's up, Jack?
Look at everyone showing up to hear you talk about connecting these dots.
Yeah, connect these dots, huh?
Yeah.
Welcome to the deep dive. Jeremiah, there you are. Jeremiah, how you feeling? Oh, Sane, look out. Again, welcome to the Transparency. Usually when I get to that 4-minute mark, I usually like to start then.
Countdown.
Well, I mean, or if I'm putting on a video, then, people can see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I feel so bad. Sometimes people don't even get messages. They're like, I didn't even get notified that you went live. And I know that they really wanted to see it because then they're in, the comment section, blowing up the feed oh my God, this, and I'm like, yeah, see, they definitely were wanting to see it. They weren't just being smart asses. So again, welcome to Truth and Transparency. Hope you guys had a great weekend. It's never too early to get into the festivities of the holiday season. So,
what you do?
Yes. We're going to talk about something that I think is interesting. So this is going to be, there's 6-7 topics. Want to hear from you guys. I believe in, crowdsourcing, and then I believe in, obviously eliminating things that it's just not possible. As long as something's possible, okay. But if it's not possible, you want to eliminate those things. So I went back and took a look at Kegan Klein's basically trooper veto. I guess you can say it's a probable cause affidavit, one that we should be seeing, right now and reading about with Alan. I do believe that's going to be released. I'm thinking at the latest November 22nd.
You think that the probable cause affidavit for Richard Allen will be released?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
With Dougie Carter at the helm.
Yeah. I think. He kind of already said that it's going to be released. He said that it should be released. He wasn't in on that. I don't know if people know that. He wasn't the person that said this needs to be sealed. That wasn't his call. That was prosecutor. So,
but I thought he said he agreed with the prosecutor, no?
I think that what he's agreeing is, I think it was all about buying time. This was to buy time, for safety reasons, in my opinion. Because I think that there's going to be some names that get revealed.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not they can redact those, I don't see that that's going to happen, though. So, you really don't think it's going to be released? That's interesting.
I don't know if it's going to be.
I mean, you know that probable cause. I mean this is like an unheard thing.
But it's also due process, and the problem is the 22nd is around the corner. So
I think it has a chance of coming out before then, especially since it changed. It's going to be in Allen County now.
Allen County, but here's the thing: didn't you say he has ties to Allen County? So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I think there's a lot of ties here.
Yeah.
So,
true.
I think that
Fort Wayne. I would have liked to see it in Indianapolis, to be honest with you, but whatever. It is what it is. Maybe, hopefully, the judge will kick it out of Fort Wayne, out of Allen County, but we don't know. We'll see.
Well,
I'm too quiet, Anthony. Holy moly! Let me just scoot up to
that was too quiet.
Just wait till I get loud. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I'll go with your gut, though. You're usually pretty good with that, but I just think November 22nd is way too soon for something like this. It's just... But they sure did, let everything out in one day, didn't they? 5.5 years silence, and then boom, release everything. What was it?
You do understand that they're going to... the reason that this will be released is because of it's number one, it's precedent. Number two, it's a public document, and you're going to have a hard time keeping this sealed, especially in such a high-profile case as it is, when it's going against every grain possible. There's just no reason to do that. They wanted to bide time, and I think that they did for safety reasons. I think they were concerned about people's safety. 100%. I mean, if you're talking about snitches, I think did you like the little title there?
I loved it.
So let's go to this part of it. And number one thing I want to talk about today is where these pings, these geolocations. So I went back to the probable cause affidavit for Kegan Klein and went through it enough to pinpoint that, obviously they took a bunch of different devices. And the first device that we're going to talk about in those locations is an iPhone that was used, and the last time it was used was May of 2015. It contained sexual images, blah, blah, blah. But I was more concerned with the geolocation on the images. So it says the geolocation on the images came back 2 cities in Indiana, to include Bunker Hill, Galveston, Indianapolis, Kokomo, and Royal Center, as well as, what is that little Monterey? It's 218 people, right?
Yeah, the census in 2010. 218 people.
So, but check this out. When actually you read this, and it says that it's the geolocation on the images. So that got me to thinking, which would be, it's wherever the picture was taken. That's going to be your geolocation on an image. It's not going to be where the phone was when it received it. You get what I'm trying to say? This is going to be where the picture was taken.
The metadata. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So, now, we all know that very rarely was Kegan driving. He was basically in the passenger seat a lot of times. You know what I mean? He was being drove around when I think that he was driving when he wasn't supposed to be. A lot of people do that, but whatever. So again, Bunker Hill, Galveston, that's where he's got ties there. Indianapolis, Kokomo, obviously, but Royal Center stuck out to me. What if you take a screenshot, okay, or you save a photo? So if I take a screenshot of a photo that was sent to me, there's going to be new metadata behind the screenshot. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay. And then as well as if, now what if I go ahead and I save that photo?
Okay.
What happens under that photo?
It'll say screenshot. It'll show where it came from. It'll say that it's a screenshot, but it will give your location and possibly, I don't know how deep, but it might say the previous location, but it will say yours.
Yeah. And now, so that was for May of, the last time that was phone was used, May of 2015. Now, I went back and looked at a couple different things with why is there no, in none of these phones that was recovered, there's no data that's pointing to Vegas or LA or Washington. Where else was he? Everything's in Indiana. Nothing's in any other city outside of Indiana.
Interesting, huh?
Well, the reason it's interesting is because for as much as he was moving around, and as much as people think that he was like he's some mastermind or whatever, it's just he says it in the interview. I mean, I would have used like a VPN. Like, I mean, he says those words.
True.
So how do you know to use a VPN, but then you don't use a VPN? What's up, all you fat fucks and all you skinny fucks? Right there, that gets a highlight right there. He just had to say it. That was a joke from an old video. Everybody just needs to know that.
It's true. That's someone that watches you.
Oh yeah, Anthony's an avid watcher here.
A fan. Very good.
So I'm sure that you guys have dived into Kegan's Facebook page. I mean, it's still up there. Have you guys all gone through that? I mean, isn't that
what?
like... Have you guys ever gone through Kegan's Facebook page? Like his Facebook?
Okay, so they should put a 1 in chat if they have and a 2 if they haven't.
No, I don't do stuff like that.
Okay.
No, I'm saying like...
Never.
You have never?
I have never looked at his Facebook page.
Wait, you're sitting here telling me that you've covered this case with other people and you guys have never went through Kegan's Facebook page?
I personally have not gone through Kegan Klein's Facebook page.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people say like no.
Yeah. I looked at his Instagram, but it was.
Are you an Instagram person versus like a Facebook?
I'm
Okay.
not a Facebook person. Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I did. All Saints says I even played him. I did. I even played him.
so Megan, just out of curiosity, she's in chat. Megan, have you taken a look at Kegan's Facebook page? I tried, but I couldn't find it.
Mamma mia.
If I thought he was a decent subject, I would have. Bella's not lying. I can't vouch. I don't really think that they have much to do with each other, more than a ways to a means. I'm just curious. You know.
You want to show us? You gonna show us his Facebook page? Is there some interesting stuff in there? Cars.
No, I what I think's interesting is that February you have a double murder that happens. So number one here, guys, when you're dealing with children, you know that the parents are going to be picking up the kids, number one. So it's going to be a small window until parents are worried about their children to the point that they're picking them up. So it's a very small window. They're going to be on it quick, that their kids aren't at the pickup location, that their kids not answering their phone, things like that. So very small window, in my personal opinion. And I think that a lot of people would agree when you're dealing with children. And I mean, what do you think the girls are going to be there like all night? That, oh yeah, like they weren't going to get picked up till 9. So you would have like, it's just a very small window before like, hey, you're not at the spot, but I can't even get a hold of you. So that type of thing. To the point of then they have multiple agencies on this. The girls' bodies are found, and you're able to get that Anthony Schatz profile, use social media to get that profile, to have it link back. And they were waiting on February 25th to then go and raid, in a sense, as Kegan says, but really just go there to Kegan Klein and Tony Klein's house. Okay. He wasn't even like he just began living over there, by the way. He was living with his mom. The Anthony Schatz account wasn't started until 6 months prior to. So what I did is I took a window of how long Libby or Abby could have ever been talking to this account, for how long ever existed. So the Anthony Schatz account only existed for 6 months prior to the homicides. Which even, lowered the probability of, who it could be and who could know about it. How long were they talking? How long was the Anthony Schatz account talking to, you want to look at, you have all these people, multiple people that this Anthony Schatz account is talking to. Well, what's the pattern? How are you talking to this account? Once I get what I need out of that account, meaning like a nude, meaning like a video, are you then moving on to the next? The thing that I think you're going to find in this probable cause, affidavit, is going to be that Schatz account had a certain way of working until you get to the Libby. And what I mean by that is he wasn't meeting up with these people, right? He would get what he needed, and then it was moving on type of thing. So I think what you're going to get out of this probable cause is you're going to get the start date of when they started communicating, when that account was communicating with Libby. And possibly they haven't really mentioned if it was Abby or not, but and when do you think that was? Then to the point of you have Kegan saying that, yeah, I was supposed to meet up with that account, or they wanted to meet up with that account. And his exact words were, because it's important, the wording. So approximately 1:25 p.m. on that February 25th, Kegan Klein was interviewed by ISP. Obviously, he was read his rights, all that stuff. During Kegan's interview, he initially denied creating the fake social media account and talking to other underage girls. Later in the interview, he admitted to creating the Anthony _Schatz profile and speaking to underage girls. Kegan told investigators he created the accounts, and then they say it plural. He created the accounts approximately 6 months ago.
Because I think it was 2 platforms.
Well, when he's saying the accounts, though, he's talking about multiple accounts, meaning like the Emily Ann, the Cheyenne _45. So he's talking about multiple accounts. And he's saying that he started those 6 months prior to, meeting, or he started them 6 months ago from that date, February 25th, so you're going to go 6 months out. And that was in 2017. Well,
September.
When you're looking at stuff like this with like these breakdowns, May 2015 is way before, 6 months, just 6 months ago. So we're moving out more towards like 2 years. Does that make you get what I'm trying to say? Like, this has been going on for 2 years based on the digital evidence. He's talking about the accounts he started 6 months. You get what I'm trying to show? Like,
absolutely.
This is 2. Yeah, this is 2 years, and he's saying 6 months. Kegan stated that he would talk to girls that he personally knew, as well as people that he didn't know. Kegan said that he meets girls on Instagram. Well, so that's why I asked you if you guys ever went to his, Facebook, like you just said, Instagram. He's not friends with people. He's not friend. Like he has like 88 friends on like he doesn't have that many friends
on Facebook. You're saying
correct, and the people that he's friends with, same thing. Like minimal. But everybody that he's friends with has serious drug problems. Serious problems. Yeah, well, I mean, they're just they like drugs. He said he knows that the girls that he communicated with, around 16, possibly they could be underage, under than 16. So right here, when I heard this, I have to think to myself, if this is some big ring, okay, what ends up happening is big rings like this, they tell you you're not talking to authorities and we will lawyer you up. Like, we will pay for your attorney. We will lawyer you up. So, explain to me why why he would even talk to anybody. Why his dad would even talk to anybody.
I think, in my opinion, he thought like he could take the heat for his dad. In my opinion only, he could take the heat for his dad, and that's what he's doing, take the heat for others, barely admit to anything, shrug his shoulders at everything else, and then somebody would come save him, and then when he realized his dad cut him off.
Nobody would ever tell you that, though. If you're involved with something big, there's no, just talk. No. There's no, like, let the dipshit talk to people. No, that's not how that works.
But this is Delphi. It's not like, Philadelphia. It's not Los Angeles.
Well, I don't care if it's it's not Delphi, though. Do you know that not one single hit comes back to Delphi? You know that not one single picture, not one single image that was in May of 2015. I'm just using this as an example. And then here's another one. Your Samsung Galaxy phone, last used in June of 2015, contained sexual explicit images of children between 12 and 17. But these came back to, like I said, Hammond or Royal Center, Indiana. Again, that was May of 2015, June of 2015. And then obviously the one phone that they didn't get to when he was able to, quote unquote, delete. There's nothing tying any of the images to Delphi. Just letting you know that.
Interesting.
Okay, so again, if you're a part of what the term they want to use is, this is the biggest ring we've ever seen in Indiana. Now, does that mean that they're saying the truth when they say that they can say whatever they want to him? But But all he has to say is his dad says, Kegan, don't say a word. Like, his dad's right there with him when, like, they come to that house. So, Kegan, don't say a word. You know, you're on the phone. You're making some phone calls. Nope. I mean, yeah, you can have, you know. So they were able to have this. Let me just put this to you this way, too. This is a probable cause affidavit. All right. This was typed up and written. And by February 25th, 2017. Right? Let's see. Yeah.
12 days.
So
11 days after they found them. Quick.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Quick to the point of, you know, I want to continue on a couple things reading, and then Kegan admitted to speaking approximately 15 girls, just throws that number out there, that were underage. He advised he saved their pictures to his gallery. He just saved them to his gallery, you know. Yeah, Trista G, I saw that, the 20 sex ring in Johnson. Yep. I posted that on my community page. If you guys don't know about it, there's a community page when you actually go to, like, each person's channel on YouTube. They have, like, a community page. It's kind of like Facebook, kind of like where you can post, like, and actually, like, write stuff out. So if you don't know about that, that's where you can find community posts.
What helps too is if you subscribe. So if you subscribe and then you go into your subscribe tab, you'll see community posts as they're posted. So if you're not subscribed to this channel and you like what Lana's doing, go ahead and sub. It's free.
So he advised that he saved their pictures to his gallery. Like, during his interview, Kegan stated he was, effed and he should have left. Kegan advised he packed another bag and took it to Las Vegas. And Kegan returned from Las Vegas on February 25th, the day that they did this. He said he was going to leave when his dad was asleep. Kegan told investigators the main phone he uses is the white iPhone 5C. Now, he was talking to Sergeant Collins. I'm going to tell you guys about Sergeant Collins. Sergeant Collins, I believe, is Matthew Collins. And Matthew Collins reached out, just so you know, on Richard Allen's mom's Facebook page and wrote to her in the comment section and said, hey, I private messaged your DMs. Just throwing that out there. Don't know if it's really the same guy, but...
Wow.
Just literally a couple days ago. Because she's literally getting bombarded on Facebook. People are writing all this, stuff. Kegan stated he received approximately 100 sexual pictures from underage girls. By the way, his polygraph concluded at 7:30 p.m. So what I did is they started talking to him around 1:30 p.m. that day. His polygraph was concluded about 7:30 p.m. Usually you don't polygraph somebody the same day like that. Just saying, that's actually that's not common.
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
You're supposed to give somebody a notice. I mean, again, I should say maybe that's not in Indiana, but I know in Colorado, the reason I can just speak freely of that is because that was something that I talked to Jane Fisher and her law firm about with the whole Chris Watts thing.
Wow. So when he says in that interview that, I had anxiety during that polygraph and I was just saying stuff, you think that there might be a possibility to this little liar?
You have to look at what the questions were, what questions were asked, and I mean...
And who was the examiner? Because that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I mean, no shit, he's lying about stuff probably. But, like, I personally think that he just says stuff that, you know, you just wouldn't want someone like him talking. So you just, if you're involved with some ring like that, just like the same thing with a drug ring, they will make, like, no, you don't say anything and we lawyer, you know, you're going to have a lawyer. You're going to be lawyered up. Mm-hmm. And then that wasn't, anyways, the next thing that I want to, after he was, after his polygraph was concluded at 7:30 p.m., he was then transported back to his residence, by the way. You know.
So they let him go.
Well, I don't think, you know, I don't think he was under arrest, though. Like, it was just like, will you come with us to talk to us? And he said, okay. Mm-hmm. Versus saying, like, no. These are the devices: that Apple iPhone 4, Apple 3, Samsung Galaxy S5, the Galaxy S4, the notebook tablet, and an Apple iPod Touch. And then that's when he came back with, on the 27th, about that, you know, the 5C. But the thing that's interesting is they didn't take, you know, the 5C during the warrant because they couldn't find it. I'm just curious where it was.
The 5C. Is that the one that he...
That's the one that was deleted. So
on top of the mic, really?
But let's think about it. If the 5C was the one that was deleted, and that's the one that had, like, you delete this, that's the most, that's the newest, was the 5C really not in that home?
So who do you think had it? His girlfriend?
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, who do you think had it? Well, who got charged with the homicide? I mean, the homicides.
That's a good point.
I'm just saying how he can just tell you whatever. You know, he says on February 27th, or this is what the report says. On February 27th, Kegan contacted ISP and told them that he located his Apple iPhone 5C that wasn't taken during the warrant. Well, every time I've ever known about, you know, a warrant, they come in and they do the search.
Right.
Okay. So when you were in that home and you searched it, you didn't find this iPhone, right? And because he says it in here when he's being questioned, like, Kegan told investigators the main phone he uses is the white iPhone, you know, 5C. So he's telling you that during the time of basically, like, you're searching, right?
Right.
So it's like, hey, did you guys come across a 5, you know, what phones do you guys have? No, we don't have a 5C. We didn't come across a 5C. Well, what the you didn't come across the 5? Like, what? That's going to be your most, the 3, the 4, like, those are outdated. So we didn't find the 5C. So chances are, in my opinion, the 5C wasn't in that home.
It's really interesting.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
Where was the 5C? But then 2 days now 2 days later, he calls up and says, "Hey, you know, hello."
Sitting on the microwave.
I mean, I don't know why your guys didn't take this. It's been here. Like, what? No, it wasn't in that home. Now, mind you, think about this. The murders happen, and then he leaves, allegedly, on the 15th of February. Mm-hmm. And then to go to Vegas, and then comes back on the 25th. And they were waiting. Like, basically, when he got to his house, boom, it's on. They're there. And that's why he says it in, like, that interview in 2020. He's like, I mean, God, it was really traumatic. What do you think? I just get home and then there's SWAT everywhere. So if that happens exactly the way that I think, he basically gets home. What phone was he using when he was in Vegas? What phone was he using when he was in, for those 10 days? They have to know this.
That's a good prosecution and defense question, don't you think?
Okay. Well, because wait for it. I think that if you really think about this, if that 5C was the phone that was communicating with Libby, well, he doesn't have it. You guys searched it on February 25th. Like, where do you think he put it up his fucking fat ass? Where do you think that phone is?
Yeah.
Somebody else had that phone. Just like somebody else had it possibly, right, on February 13th, right? I mean, wouldn't that make sense?
Absolutely.
Or do you think that they, here, I have this phone. Here, I'm just going to go give it to this person.
I think it's I think that when you pointed that out, it's a very big possibility that somebody else had the phone. What I always thought is it was before all of your digging. I just thought that it's this ring. They all know it's a little bit like a snuff thing. Like, not everyone's into snuff. It's a very hardcore thing to be into. But if someone says, I want, I'm going to pay you, let's say $100, produce some 12-year-old pictures, they do. And if they say produce whatever, and that RA was like, tell me the info you get from these girls who want to meet locally.
Okay, so I just have to ask this question then. Okay. February 13th, this happens. I mean, this is such a small area. Everybody knows about this. Everyone starts searching on February 14th, right? Everybody knows about it. Well, people start searching, right? Mm-hmm. And he's over here. Either he knows that he communicated with these girls, or he doesn't, because he's communicating with just so many, because it's just so random, and he's just, you guys know how Snapchat works. Like, you take one picture, but you could send it to freaking everybody. And then you have to remember to yourself, after they view it and they send you something back, you're like, what the fuck did I send them? Like, you can't even remember what you sent them unless it's on like that save 24 hours. Come on, we all do it. If you have that, if you have Snapchat, you're like, I don't even know what I wrote that person. Like, I don't even know what they're answering back to. I don't even know. You got to like think now think about this. You send the same thing because that's what you do. You take a picture of something and you share it to your story, but then you also send it to your 10 or 15 people. That's how I would see this whole thing kind of working. But when this happens, you get out to Vegas, you have all your devices. Why the hell are you bringing back all your devices with you? Why aren't you throwing them all in the water? Like I said, not even that it's, think about this, not even that it's, that you didn't do anything to harm any of those girls, okay? But holy shit, I was talking to that girl. Like, oh my God, like, that's gonna, if he has enough brains to say the words VPN, then he has to know that whoever created the Anthony Shots account, and if you communicated with them, that they're coming and knocking at your door to ask you about that, because that's just going to happen in an investigation.
Absolutely.
So you're in Vegas for 10 days. You don't do anything. You have all these devices. You get back to the house. Now, my guess is that all those devices you kept at that house. You didn't take those with you to Vegas. All right. Maybe the one phone that you did or were using, you either had 2 days to pass it off and to give it to somebody that's a tech person who's in technology, who knows how to do things. Oh, let me tell you, Alan's brother-in-law. Let me tell you what he does for a living. Let me tell you what these people do for a living. programmers. But at that point, why aren't you just destroying it and acting like it doesn't exist?
So your theory would
but no, I'm just saying he didn't have the phone there at the house. They went through the house, they didn't find it. But then he has enough that's what he says, oh, right when he got back, because that's actually in the probable cause to say right when he got back, then he goes and he starts deleting stuff. They want to really pinpoint the times that this was happening to show that and that's what I'm going to talk about right now, which is it's with the iPhone 5S.
So he doesn't take any of those devices, and if Richard Allen has the iPhone 5C, the white one, what does he take? What does Kegan take? Like a burner phone to Vegas? We don't know.
I think why are you even calling them to turn that over? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, if you truly like think about this, put yourself in that person's shoes, and here, the phone that you're supposed to be using, that you use all the time, you don't even have. It wasn't on you. Did you not search him to see if the iPhone 5 was on him? You search the house, you can't find the iPhone 5, it's not there. But you search the house, I mean, why wouldn't you? You find all this other crap. But then just 2 days later, he wants to call up and say, oh, hey, I have this phone here. I don't know. I don't think you guys got it. You guys want it? The fuck?
It is bizarre, okay? It's bizarre. But I mean, it's his phone. Remember, he bought
it's bizarre, but you wouldn't. Who calls up the police and says, "Hey, come get this"? If the police didn't find it, the police didn't find it. Like, or was it? Or did they want them to have it?
Well, if it's wiped down, does it matter at that point if they have it or not? If he's telling himself he looks innocent by turning it in, it's wiped down. What are they going to get off of it, right?
They were able to at least get this, though. They were able to at least get off of it when stuff like uninstalling an app, reinstalling an app. They were able to see all that.
And why does a guy with a VPN not know that they can tell that then?
Why does somebody that's involved with a huge porn ring, as people want to say, like, when you say, like, dumb criminals, no, we're not talking about, dumb criminals is when it happens, like, you know, on the spot, boom. But this is something that happened over, 2 days go by. This isn't dumb. This is remember he comes back and gets back to the house, and what he says in his second interview, he says, oh, well, I just told my dad that you guys were asking me questions about the girls. Mm-hmm. I didn't talk to my dad about this, kid stuff. Mm-hmm. And then they say, well, we told your dad about it. And he's like, what? Well, my dad never told me that you talked to him. And right there, that tells me everything. Because either he's lying about that, or he's being truthful about it, because he's saying, oh my God, if my dad knew about this, like, my dad would, like, I would never have a relationship with my dad again, right?
Right, because maybe that part is true, but he's confident about the missing girls or the...
Well, he knows that he didn't kill the girls.
Right, and so it's okay for his dad to know that, but the CP...
Because he didn't do it, yeah, because he didn't do that. He is soliciting underage, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
So...
Because that stood out, didn't it?
But what doesn't make sense to, I think, to Kegan there is, what do you mean you told my dad never talked to me about this? My dad didn't, he thought I was being, like, I'm being summoned. This is all happening because of, and I was talking about, you guys are basically thinking that I killed, Abby and Libby because I was the last person to talk to them. Absolutely. Because of the Anthony Shots account, right?
100%, yes.
And he's like, I didn't do any of that, right? I just know that I didn't kill anybody.
Right. I didn't go meet the girls. I didn't, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So where was this phone? Where was this phone? And how would it not be on him if he's literally just getting back from Vegas and he like literally gets home and boom, they're there. Like they knew. So like they were keeping tabs on him. Well, how quickly did they know about the Anthony shots and who it went back to and everything like that? How quick were they onto that? Because my guess is that they went over that house before February 25th to try to see if they were home, and they weren't there. And so it's like, okay, well, you know, it's kind of like the same thing with his cousin Travis. Travis was living in Arizona. Why did Travis come home to Indiana only to get picked up with I believe it was an old DUI warrant?
Absolutely. Why? Did he run out of money? What happened? Absolutely.
Who ran? No. I think he was. Are you talking about in September? Yeah, I think that he was summoned. I think that he was set up. He was set up to come home. And then you need to get him home here somehow. And so it was either had to do with their side business, which is drugs, and you know he put down $110,000 cash on that house.
Right.
So let's go back to this part, which is when I went over this again and I realized that holy shit, that phone's missing, but then it pops up 2 days later. That tells me that he didn't have the phone, in my opinion.
Okay.
That's what logic tells me. Logic tells me that he didn't have the phone, because otherwise it would either been on him or it would have been at that house. Where else would it be? That means that he didn't have it. You get what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like he threw it away because here it is 2 days later. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he destroyed it. So who had the phone? And if that's the case, when did they get it? When did they get that phone?
Right.
Were they supposed to destroy that phone? And then now you think about this. Now fast forward all these years, and now you get to the point of 2022, October 28th, and you have a guy by the name of Richard Allen being arrested. No one's heard of this man's name. He gets arrested. You hear Doug Carter saying over and over that judge signed the probable. I mean, he's like, "Are you confident that you have your man? Are you confident, you man?" Like, you know, they keep asking him that. Like, is he bridge guy? Is he this? Is he that? The judge signed the affidavit. The judge signed. You know, that's what all I kept on saying. The probable cause. You know, blah 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 blah. So.
And he's smart. The way he answers Mr. Carter is amazing.
Very, 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 very. It's amazing. He's one of the best public speakers I've seen, and not even just like law enforcement. I'm just saying, like, he's good. And now either he is so full of shit, or either he's that genuine. And I think he's genuine. I do.
I do too.
I think
eye
he's
contact is amazing.
You don't come across as, I mean, he's very heartwarming with it. And so, like I said, either he is one good bullshitter, or it's legit.
100%. Yeah.
So we got this phone that was communicating with the girls through Libby, right? But the phone isn't in Klein's possession. So then, how do we get it for like IP addresses? Like, for example, let's see. I just don't think it was wiped down as well as they thought.
They didn't send it to the right IT guy.
I didn't send it to the right IT guy.
mother-in-law was like, screw you.
So hold on, I want to pull up, or at least turn this part over where it's like, That's interesting. They never did data dumps on towers and all devices in the area. Help you out. Mike Talk Show. Hi, Mike Talk Show. How you doing? It's not normal for the lead investigator to... He's not the lead investigator. That's the thing, is he'll tell you that over and over and over. He's not the investigator. He's like, I didn't do any of the investigating. So I would agree with you at that, but I'm also going to tell you that Doug Carter is not the lead investigator. So...
I love Carter. I just think he's so phenomenal. And you're right, he could be a BS artist, and that's why. But,
So, you got a guy, no criminal history, nothing, in terms of, like, I mean, what, a speeding ticket, parking ticket.
and you're talking about who now? Richard Allen?
Richard Allen, yep. Mm-hmm. To the point that, how did Richard Allen know that the girls were going to be in that park? Or at least that Libby was going to be there? Mm-hmm. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, on the bridge, you could walk down and then you'd have to turn around and walk back. Is that correct? Or is that not how it was back then?
What do you mean, like walk back to go back the way you came from? Or you're meaning that there's not a trail to go around again?
Yeah, like the way that it was, you couldn't go to the other side and just continue walking. You had to, like, if you walked on that bridge, you had to come back then. Because you couldn't continue.
I'm not sure about that. I thought that you could, but yeah, if anyone's been to Delphi and they know about that.
Well, yeah, because I mean, even if you've been to Delphi, like, after the fact, it was a matter of what could you do then? Because I know now, like, if you were to walk on that bridge, so you could get in trouble for trespassing.
Absolutely. I don't think you're even allowed to. It's, like, so dangerous. But I don't know. I'm not sure about that question.
So I've heard it both ways, that you couldn't, if you walked across that bridge, you had to once you got to the one side, you couldn't continue on going. You had to come back. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, there's nowhere to go because they weren't allowing you to go. Whatever they were doing had, like, I don't know if it was blocked in some way, but basically if you walk that way, you had to walk back. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so, like,
I understand. Yeah, I'm gonna ask Libra.
Okay. So.
But go on. Yeah. So if it's like that and you can't walk back.
Well, what I'm saying is that the girls then would cross the person twice, meaning this. I'm walking this way, and then I have to, when I stop, and I'm going like this. So if Alan's here, and he's walking, this way, and I'm walking this way, to the bridge, to the other end, and he's, like, going this way past me, and then I have to turn around, and I could potentially, well, let's actually do it in reverse order, because if the girls were in front, it would be like this. They cross him, and then boom, he turns around, and then he's, behind them then. Right. Because he had to, though. Because you couldn't go the rest of the, because you had to make that type of loop.
Like a U-turn.
Yeah. Yeah, or I would just say, like, if you're running suicides, like, you touch the wall and you got to come back, like that. I'll use sports analogies all day.
You're doing suicides, you got to touch the wall. It's a U-turn. That's suicides. I love it. Yeah. So I get it.
BG is not Logan. I will debate that all day. BG is not Logan. I don't think anyone on here is saying that the bridge guy is Logan. No one's saying that at all. Anyways, yeah, Mike, feel free to email me. But going back to this, so you have two girls there that weren't really supposed to go there because they didn't think that they were going to have a ride, again, allegedly. To then the fact that, okay, that's why I don't even know if I believe that part of it. Because I want to know, how long did they know that they were going to be able to go to that bridge that day? Because that's what's going to put the ball in motion for, at that moment, when the girls said that they would be there. So this is how this would work. I have my phone. Let's say that, oh my God, yeah, my sister's able to take us. My dad said he'll pick us up. We can do this. Then what would you do as a kid? You're then going to get on your phone. You're going to go to your Snapchat. You're then going to message Anthony Schott's profile and say, hey, I'm able to meet at, hey, meet me at the bridge today. Mm-hmm. However, what the lingo is, or hey, I can get a ride, whatever you're going to be saying, right?
Right.
Come to the bridge, do whatever. What time do we think that would have taken place? And so where you can narrow this down is based on when the family gave Libby the, okay, I can take you and Dad can pick you up. I'll take you because Dad's going to pick you up.
Sister. When did her sister say? It's
yeah. Like I'm willing to email, but we got to do video chat because I'm better than that video chat. Now you're asking me out on a date, Mike. Come on. All right. I'm just messing with you, Mike. They only had 1 hour get ready to bridge. Let me talk to Mom after, as plus did errands with Grandma plus eat pancakes. Yep, all that did happen. But it's a matter of when did she, and they know this. They've already told us the one time, which was there was an 8 a.m. message. But what happened after that? All they've told us about that 8 a.m. There's much more that has happened after that 8 a.m. message, to the point that, remember how they're saying that picture taken of Abby, who sent that picture to where? Did she put that on her story? Okay, because I think she put that on her story, but did she also send that to somebody else, aka Anthony Schatz? Mm. Okay, because I've looked through all this stuff, but it was one of the friends that saw the picture on her story, and they screenshotted it. Okay. Now, which is, hey, weird. I mean, unless they always do that.
Interesting.
Mom called Libby at 9 a.m. and they stay on for 1 hour. Okay.
Stayed at the bridge for 1 hour? Stayed on
No. That's on the phone. That's way in the morning because they don't get dropped off till way later. My point is that when did the girls know that they had the okay and were going to go to that they were able to then go there? Because this is what also a kid does. As much as I say, I can go, yay, I have to say something like this. Hey, I only have a couple hours because my dad's coming to pick me up at 3. Or 3:15. So I only, I can only meet for so long, or that's usually thrown in there to say well, hey, how much information did the girls cough up? Because I go back to this, when somebody wants to say this, was this premeditated? Did they know there was going to be 2 people there? Well, Abby was with her. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't did she tell Abby, wait here, I'm going to go, hey, Anthony just wants me to come meet him by himself, can you just wait here? You get what I'm trying to say? This person who Doug Carter is saying that the bridge guy is Alan, and I think that his walk and everything, I think it's him. I'll wait to see the probable cause before I say. I mean, he's innocent until he's proven guilty. Everybody has rights. But
You know who Mike Talk Show is, by the way? I think Mike Talk Show is the guy that took his shirt off on Halloween. Or put his shirt on Halloween. Is that true, Mike?
Mike is the guy that, oh my God, we've already had a date then.
He had a double date. Was it a triple date?
It was a triple date. Mike, I know a lot of I know the questions that I'm asking right now, just so you know, I know the answers to them. I'm trying to help people think, though, in a mindset. So that's all that I'm trying to do right now. So, in the mindset that everybody should really be focused in on is one main question, which is, do you believe that it would be a coincidence that the girls were planning to go to that bridge, had just talked with Anthony Schatz, allegedly that was a planned thing, and that, oh, poof, here's just this random dude, and he happens to be at the same place at the same time, and then, so the probabilities, have you guys ever done them in school back in the day? Like, what is the probability that if you pull out of a hat, there's, 10 numbers, what's the probability that you're going to pull out a 1 and then a 10 versus a 1 and an even number? What's the probability that they're communicating with that account and that Richard Allen is on that bridge, same time, same location, same place, but didn't know that they were going to be there? What's the probability that he was there, the same time, same place, but didn't know that they were going to be there? What's that probability?
We'll add in the probability of where they were killed.
Well, no. What you have to do is you have to add in these probabilities, which is, what is Mr. Richard Allen's normal pattern of behavior and activities? So does he go to that place, every Monday and have walks? Does he go there every day on his lunch break? Does he never go there? You get what I'm trying to, that's how you're eliminating, probability, possibility, things like that. Was this a fluke that he was there?
But that's what I'm saying. I can't let go of the fact of what happened afterwards. And what happened afterwards leads me to believe that it wasn't happenstance, because it was too perfect and too bold. This is a daylight killing of 2 victims.
What I struggle with is the how far away the actual killings happened. So
Tell us again for people that weren't here when you
said that. 3/4 of a mile. They walked 3/4 of a mile. That's not close. Not to you're gonna control 2 girls, and I would say feisty. I mean, if you're an athlete, you're feisty, and they were athletes. Now, yes, if he had a gun, he pulled a gun, okay. But where's this screaming? Where's there's allegedly these witnesses that helped on the sketch. I don't buy that, for the record. The sketch came from her phone, from that video. But do you think it would be something like this? Do I have to tell you with a gun down the hill, or is it if I'm talking to you? Because the more I've read and read and read, it's at the end that it's the down the hill. You have to ask yourself, did the down the hill, all the 43 seconds happen? Was it within the first couple seconds, or was it at the end of the, recording? And they put that out there. I don't know if it was a slip up, but they put it out there. And I want to say it was in Ron Logan's probable cause affidavit. So how do I get 2 girls to with no struggle. They say that there was no signs of a struggle. 2 girls to travel through that, you know, that it's not flat, you know. Do I have to tell them, like, hey, hey, Anthony sent me here to get you guys. We're all hanging out and we're down there. We're having like a whatever, you get what I'm saying? Like,
photo shoot.
Yeah, you're going to have to, yeah. Are you luring them to the point of, if you're pulling a weapon right then and there on them, it's like anything when you're scared and you watch a scary movie, like, you're going to jump, you're going to scream. So you're telling me that, that didn't happen. These girls were just like, yeah, 0.75 mile. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're telling me these girls are just going to be like, okay, yep,
Well, here's what one of the moms have always said is the only way that she could see, and I guess she's going with the thought that there is a gun involved and it isn't like, hey, Anthony's down the hill, right? Mm-hmm. She says the only way this happens is if he has one of the girls, the other one would stay because they would never want to leave their friend behind. So he can control both girls by physically controlling one.
Sure. So then we have to go back to what did. All right. So I'm hanging out at Kegan's house, and Kegan's over, you know, talking about, oh, these girls think that we're gonna meet up or something. Like, well, they're such fucking idiots. Like, we're just getting high and whatever. And I'm overhearing this. If I'm Richard Allen.
Okay.
So I'm overhearing that these 2 girls are gonna be at the, you know. And they think that, they think they're meeting up with, you know, Anthony Shots. Like, you would need way more information than just that. To do what? What was your plan? You think that you're just going to kill 2 girls in the middle of daylight like that, knowing that parents are going to be looking for kids? It's a small area. You know, Richard Allen was just like, you know what? I can hurry up, because you have to think of where they were. It's a 37-minute drive. And like I said, they had just found out that they were going to even be able to do this, to be able to go and go to the bridge. So
the time frame window is
it's very small. It's very small, and you know that it's very small window to be able to get them away, and then you yourself have to then get back to wherever it is you're going. And you're going to have to do it before, let's say, I don't know, your wife comes home and you're all bloody.
You have to do it and be clean.
Yeah, like what, you know, or you're not, I mean, I don't think he probably went home right after. That's just me. But they're saying that, well, that's, you know, he walked this way and he went straight to his house. Okay, well, I guess, I mean, this is stuff that you're going to find out in the probable cause.
Absolutely.
But everything, you're on such a, that to me, unless there was a plan, let's say, over the weekend to do this. So if you talked about it over the weekend, though, that you were planning on meeting, and so that you let Anthony Shots think that you were meeting and you never told him that you weren't. Does that make sense? So if there was a plan to meet over the weekend on that Monday, because they didn't have school, and because they're just goes, oh, we'll get a ride, don't worry, like, I'll just ask my sister. So I'm just going to, like, write this, and I'm just going to ask my sister. So is it that this was actually planned over the weekend because of that you know, sleepover? And that, to me, makes way more sense.
You know what makes sense to me, or, like, is a possibility to me, is that this had happened before, and they went to meet at the Monon High Bridge, and he flaked. And so, you know, the possibility was already out there that this was where these girls wanted to meet, and this time he was going to stand up again. Why not?
I think you're trying to say that you think that they tried to meet and the girls actually showed up before at, you know, a different time,
like a month ago. You know what I mean? Like,
see, I think it's going to come out that they just started talking. That's also going to come out in the probable cause. It's going to come out when it happened.
And I do believe it hasn't been very long, but because like at that age, you know what I mean? Like 3 weeks is forever. So yeah, I agree with that. But I don't know. It will come out though. But I feel like it was premeditated. I think that he's done it before. I think there's all these calling cards that say that.
I think where it's going to come in, if it's premeditated or not, is the length of time that they knew to meet there. Because I could see the girl not ever telling Anthony Schatz that she couldn't meet. Because you want him to be there, just like thinking about anything. Like you want to hold out hope to the last minute, and then if you can't go, then you're just going to say that you can't go, or, you know. But you're rolling with such a small window. Small window. And don't you think that, I mean, if you're trying to pull something like this off, that you would ask, so Anthony, well, what time do you have to be back? What time, you know, how long do we, you know, well, don't you have to be back home? Like, I'm going to take you for a ride in my car. Like, think about the things that Klein was saying that he was saying to these girls. It was to get them what, though? It was all just about getting, he was just trying to get material from them because he's sick fuck. But he never had plans, him personally, of meeting up with people because he's an embarrassment. You know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely. He's a slob. Like, he's going to show up and be like, yeah, I'm Anthony Schatz, man. Come over here. Come over here. You know, like, no. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, he never, ever, ever had plans to ever meet with anybody because he knows that nothing's going to come of that. He's not going to get anything. Like, and then if that gets out and then girls will start talking, oh, wait, don't talk to that Anthony Schatz guy because it's a fucking scam. Then that's going to go. Yeah, then that's going to start going around. You know, absolutely. So he can't meet up with people because then that, you know, gets out there. So if you really truly think about it and you work that way through it, for you to say that this was premeditated, not on fucking Kegan's end, absolutely not.
I think Kegan had a role, and I think that there was other people involved that had roles, and we don't know if they were in mass text together or the dark web text together saying, haha, these girls want to meet at blinkety blink at this time, and that's how he found out. But you got some interesting information that you'll dump at some point, right?
I just look at logic, and logic says that I want to know where that fucking cell phone was. Where was that cell phone?
What if you're right and it was up his butt?
I mean, it could have been right in his pocket. I mean, absolutely. Did law enforcement pat him down? You know, did law enforcement check his pockets?
Maybe he was just so cooperative with the other 6 devices that they were just like, obviously, if he had that 7th device, he'd give it to us. Who knows?
I always wanted to answer that. No, I don't think. The only reason I don't think it's possible that they took the girls away in a vehicle and dumped them back to stage overnight. The only reason I don't think that happened is because of them all up in that area. That's just me. Again, when people say that it's, you know, why an arrest now?
What? Who says why an arrest now?
No, like why was there an arrest? Like what happened? What led to Richard Allen being arrested? Mm-hmm. What, you know, it's like I know this person did this, but I can't prove it. I have to figure out a way to prove it. You know, he planned for murder. He had a weapon on him. Well, what type of weapon? Because I'm not going to lie to you. You know, all those people out there are fishermen. They all carry knives. Pocket. I mean, what type of? We don't know anything because nothing's been released. We don't even know if a knife was used. You know, do I think a knife was used? Yeah.
I mean, it alluded to.
Well, who commits a this type of a heinous, horrible crime in in such a small town area where you live. And I mean, this is going to like, to think that's just, I hate thinking about stuff that has to do with kids. It's sick. It's gross.
And those,
you know, he was a parent himself. You know what I'm saying? Like what?
Mm-hmm.
And now what are the odds? I mean, he came right out the gate not guilty, and he's going to try to get his own attorney. You know, this is you know, not guilty. We didn't. What was he doing for those 12 hours? You know, investigators aren't at your house for 12 hours because you stole your freaking neighbor's hammer. You know what I'm saying? So when is it like you call... I keep going back to this. Delphi, do any of you guys call the... Joey, yeah, I saw the river video. Do any of you guys call lawyers? You guys say the town's so corrupt. Like, I can't like keep reiterating. If you live in a town that's corrupt, the first thing that you need to do when dealing with law enforcement is call for a lawyer. You know, no one's talking to lawyers. I mean, him and his wife sat outside their house for 12 hours. Well, did they go get DoorDash? When did they eat? You know, hey, is it okay? Can I go inside and grab it? No, you're not allowed in there. Okay, so did they leave and go like... I mean, think about that. At that moment, you know why they're there, and they're searching like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
100%. I mean, and what happened to those girls? I hope their parents don't have to sit in a courtroom.
That's awful. And that's exactly what's going to happen.
Well, unless someone pleads.
Maybe he was just very drunk. You know, I mean, that is a possibility that he would be like drunk or whatever, but I think that he would have been caught then.
I don't think he was drunk. He was very in control. It was a very controlled scene, as far as like organized, disorganized, if you want to talk about killing. There's a lot of things that were that he did that were, it was probably a mixture, because I haven't seen like the actual crime scene. Not a lot has been said, but it's probably a disorganized and an organized killing. But the way he walked across, have you guys ever walked across a trestle like that? Hands in pockets or hands holding something in his fanny pack. Very difficult. You need your hands for balance. Very confident man from the couple seconds.
You mean like when he was walking with his hands in his pocket, like across the bridge?
Holding something. Because like I told you, what is more important to you when you're walking across something that's a trestle like that with that much, it's so unstable. And if you ever look at drone footage above it, the gaps are tremendous. And why wouldn't you have your hands out of your pockets? In my opinion is there was something in his pocket that he wanted to guard more than his life, or he thought was more important than using for balance, because he didn't want that to fall out.
You know, I want to talk about this whole staging thing. We're going off of that Nicole girl, FBI agent, in her report. The FBI, they were so after Ron Logan. They had their sets, like they had their eyes that this was Ron Logan.
Still do. She still does.
Yeah. So like, I'm not at all convinced, like, because I guess I have to just keep going back to this. How can you say that there was not a struggle? Think about that. That means what? No defensive wounds. That means no what? Like underneath their fingernails there was no DNA. I mean, because they didn't like try to fight. That's not possible, in my opinion. When you're talking about a knife, you're not just going to let somebody, I'm sorry, just stab you over and over. It's not going to happen. But unless you were tied, but that would show, in my opinion, then like
ligature marks.
Yes. But that's why I look at what that woman was saying when she wrote up for the probable cause for Ron Logan. I'm just like, what the I just, so we're just going off of her word on what, and look guys, they're wrong. They were wrong. It wasn't Ron Logan. It's not Ron Logan. So when you get these, you know, agents and police officers that just like, you know, zero in, this is our guy and we're gonna do anything like that's when you get shit like that. But to sit here and say that there was no struggle, I just don't buy it. I'm sorry. I mean, why where the crime scene was, because it wasn't, the bodies were dragged away. Well, if you actually go back and listen, the bodies were almost in the water. I mean, that's what they say. It's like, could he have drugged them that they're passed out? Maybe. I mean, did he break their necks? No sign of a struggle because he had them like this, and then just, you know, I mean, I like I said, was everything post mortem after you know? It just,
chloroform is not how it is in the movies. Once you remove it off of your face, you're awake.
I think that so I just look at that woman and the stuff that got released. They were wrong. They were wrong, and they made that probable cause to fit their narrative of going for Ron Logan. And guess what? What they come back with?
Poor Ron Logan, the last.
What, the guy lied because he was not supposed to be drinking and driving, and
horrible lie.
And then they're like, well, why didn't he lie earlier when he went to do the trash? He probably fucking forgot that he went there. Or when he went, it was like, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, shit. Oh, because he only wanted an alibi for the time of that, you know, of that. Well, it's like also like this. Maybe you're just so fucking scared that they're going to blame you. These bodies are on the damn, like you're just out of your mind. Or when you're doing other things that are wrong. The same thing with Kegan. I mean, when you're doing other things, when you're selling drugs, when you're not thinking, you're thinking about what you know that you've been doing. And you're like, oh shit. You're not thinking of, oh my God, they're going to come and get me for murder. You're more like thinking of your own life, like your own shit that you've been doing, and you know, they're going to come and get me. Oh, I'm going to prison. I mean, I violated my you know what I mean? Like you're if you're on papers, you're going to be screwed. Like you're going to prison. He was also a woman beater. Yep. Definitely not the best reputation. Yep. All these things. Yep. You can read about it. You know, yep. That's what they said. Ron Logan, that these women came forward, you know, which again, I haven't heard, like, you know, where these women are. I mean, not too many people go, and maybe Oprah can interview them. You got to really sort out fact from fiction and rumors, but you look at 5.5 years has gone by. You're to this point, and then boom, then they seal a public document. Like, because let me tell you why it's important that that's out there. Let's say that Alan didn't do it and he's being framed. In order for him to be able to overcome being framed or, you know, being wrongfully convicted, if somebody sees that probable cause and affidavit and sees everything that they have, and let's say that it's something like wait a second, no, I can prove that I was with him, or I can, I can do this or I can do that. There's reasons that's a public document. And it's very important reasons. It's to help actually, the defendant. I mean, he shouldn't want that sealed. Just saying. I mean, the family, of course the family wants that sealed. Mm-hmm. That hurts the person that's in prison and that's, arrested for whatever it is that they're arrested for. So I'm just curious of the whole, nobody wants to talk about the, that iPhone.
That the iPhone 5C, the white one, was found later and was wiped down. Is that what you mean?
Well, I'm just that it wasn't found, period. It wasn't found on him, and it wasn't found when they searched. Mm-hmm. So
that he turned it in.
They are even keeping the affidavit even from Richard Allen. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's unheard of. Mm-hmm. And that's why I believe that there are CIs on that. This is about people's safety, that they had to, whether they're in witness protection. It's stuff like that. It's like if this came out, people's lives are going to be in danger of. I mean, why else would this need to be sealed?
Somebody told me that Indiana had the second highest, I believe the second, if not the first highest rate of sex trafficking in the U.S. And you see why in just a small area.
Did I see Mod Squad? Oh my goodness, girl, I know it's late for you, boo. Look out. Hey guys, do you guys feel like so rejuvenated? Like or do you feel like you're supposed to be tired right now because it was fall back,
Did we already fall back, or is that supposed to happen tonight?
No, it happened last night.
Oh.
Yeah, because my watch, I was like, oh, I still haven't changed my watch. It happened on, what was it? Yeah, last night. You're supposed to change it back. I'm just curious. Maybe that's why Mod Squad's up so late.
So it's what, like, supposed to be, is it supposed to be, what time is it supposed to be right now? Gosh.
Yeah, I feel wide awake, yes.
You just had coffee.
But shouldn't it be like the other, like, I don't know.
I know, I feel like it's a trick question.
I'm rejuvenated from this live, yes. I agree with that, but you don't murder people that you want to exactly. That's I'm having a hard time with what I see in front of me to think that this was, that this was premeditated murder. Meaning like this was, when I say that, in terms of he had been plotting, to kill them since the weekend. I think that I believe I would not be surprised if when it comes out that over the weekend that those plans, because they knew that they had that Friday, that Monday off, we don't have school, let's meet during the day, let's meet, got no parents around, Hot ham radio is popping Benadryl.
Oh. Yeah.
Trafficked girls get murdered all the time. Yeah, but
and I'm not linking them.
Usually not at the beginning, though. It usually happens. Get what I'm saying? Like, it's usually not within like an hour of having the girls. They usually get, it's a down the road thing.
They're just indispensable at all times, I feel. But that I'm not even linking those things to like necessarily this. What I'm saying is there's so many. This is so.
Thank you for the super chat.
That was sweet of him.
He must have used a taser and used Ron Logan disguise. I'm thinking there's a really good reason that they didn't want. They only played the audio that they played. think about that.
I need to find that book, Gods of Death, which is how I got the job.
I watched The Shack last night, by the way.
What's The Shack?
I got in every time I say that I'm going to do something, I really get into, The Shack is the movie that Carter said he's. Don't you know what I'm talking about? Oh, girl.
No, I don't. I gotta look it up, I guess. But I need to read that book, Gods of Death, because I think
you need to watch The Shack because it's out. You guys, it's on Netflix right now, so just watch it because it was actually the second time that I've actually watched it because I wanted to make sure that it was the right film that I was thinking of, and it's a very like spiritual movie, right? It's like.
You'd have to look it up.
I only like the first 20 minutes. Yeah, and then it goes on. Yeah. That I know why you only like the first 20 minutes because you thought the movie was heading in a certain direction, and then it talks about. But anyways, the point I was bringing up is that Carter brings it up that he's like, I watched The Shack, and he references it and references this ordeal, and. It was too churchy for me, because it has to do, but he references this, and I'm curious as to what part and why, and because if it's about forgiveness, I'm sorry, but you know how hard to forgive somebody for this? I mean, because it's about a little girl getting abducted, and, but while she got abducted while her dad was basically saving her other sibling when he dove into the water. And so he saved his son's life. But in the process of him saving his son's life, because he had to leave his little girl at the campsite for literally 10 minutes, not even, he gets out of the water, saves his son's life, and then turns around and his little girl's gone. And then they go looking. And it's like, I was just curious as to why he referenced it.
He did that in a couple of years ago, and in one of the press conferences, and I think we all were just like, "Oh my God, what's The Shack?" And we all had to look it up, and we were thinking the same thing. I think back then too. I don't think I even watched it back then, but you need to. Again.
Yep, that all happened. Which was last week. Richard Allen arrested, Klein charged up. But I think a really important part that you're missing at all of that is there was another big arrest, and that was Travis.
Tell us about that in case people missed it.
Travis is the house that his parents rented on that country club drive. I just recommend go watch my last live about that.
Okay.
It's just easier.
It is. It was pretty quick too.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. But I still scratch my head about this whole huge, sex ring. They did arrest 20 people, 30 people in Johnson, Indiana. But it's like, this went on for, he was doing this. See, but he was in Vegas, and that's what doesn't make sense.
What part of that doesn't make sense? I mean, that.
Well, I think that maybe him being in Vegas, so he was just getting the videos and the pics, and then here he comes actually to, he's back living at home, and it's like, I just think that maybe he let too many people in on his little, hey, I'm acting like I'm somebody I'm not, and I'm just getting girls to send me nudes. And he told some people about that, and then it just, spiraled out to some crazy ass shit. But I'm just saying, like, this, it just seems like he wasn't doing this while he was in Vegas. And it's like, well, I don't know, maybe because he was going and getting prostitutes in Vegas because it's legal, you know?
Well, I mean, he has stuff saved on his phone. It's not like he has to do it constantly.
Well, if you're messaging 100 girls, but all you have is 30 pics or 30 videos, or it's a mixture of both, the 100 girls, so then, not all of them sent you. I think this is going to be I think that this is going to be very, very interesting because it's very complex. I agree it's complex, but you can... This needs to be unsealed. It needs to be unsealed because it doesn't make sense in terms of how you got to Richard Allen. Is if it's on the fact that there's DNA. I believe that there's DNA.
Absolutely.
But if there isn't, then it's circumstantial. And it must be a lot of circumstantial evidence. But
you guys would...
How do you get his DNA? Because it wasn't in the system. I think you need somebody to say something. And do I think something was found in that river? That would make sense to me that something was found in that river. And that the knife that was found matches the wounds on the body. And then so you're looking at it like this. If you find the knife, it matches the wounds, and the person that told you where to find it, either they threw it in there or they're, setting somebody up. Because how would you know that person threw it in that water?
Unless he gave it to Trexler, and Trexler threw it in the water, and Trexler's the one that said, here's where it is.
Did Maud just gift a membership?
I bet she did.
She's been waiting to do this. I want to catch a good deed, because people need to start being good people, Where was that? Did I miss it? I swear, someone just said something.
You have to look on, are you looking on, it's not going to show up on stream.
She gifted 10 of them? She gifted 10. And this is a great live to do it on. So who got a membership? Like, why? Because I can't see it on my end.
Mod Squad's the best.
No, she is. And I'd be jealous too out there if, you didn't have Mod Squad as a bestie like me and my friends.
Gosh. Look at this.
See, I can't see it.
You want me to go on YouTube, on YouTube site. So Ashley Lee's got one.
So just tell me who got it. Hello from Concord. I'm a new subscriber. Well, that's amazing.
Ashley Lee, not that.
Oh, you know what? Big, huge follower of the Maura Murray case. I believe that's around you, or at least it was talked about over there. I'm pissed, not me. Anthony, I will gift you my heart, okay?
Aww. May M, Karina Lynn, Bethy Cakes, Rachel Green, Sandy, Rose R.
Wait, is it all random when that happened? Oh, it's random. That's right. See, it's random.
It's very random. And Megan R, who was here earlier, she wanted one. I think you guys told her to wait.
Oh, Megan R.
Yes. That was so sweet, Mod Squad.
Aw. Doing it all for my baby. Thank you. Lana, before RA's wife set her Facebook to private delete, she has family with last name Trexler. Her sister-in-law, if I remember, when I went back to dig deeper, it was too late. I have it.
Mama mia.
I got you. I got you there, Miss Gardner. Miss Gardner. Yeah, it's actually going to be through...
So sweet.
They have a mutual too. They have a mutual what's the word? Associate. I'm slowly trickling stuff just because my brain works so fast, and I just don't want people. I'm trying to do it as a pace of a
slower pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Lana, Rachel Green is a member. Who's Rachel Green?
She just became a member. I have no idea.
Okay.
But Ham knows.
I love you too. Hey. Yeah. Anthony, everybody loves you. I take it. Yeah, take it. Take that, take that, take that. That's a Biggie song.
Sorry.
Thank you. My name is Eric. Yes, the Maura Murray case is about an hour north from me. Yep. Yeah. I did a lot with that back in the day.
Isn't that an Indiana case?
Hey, Mike Talk Show took off after you rebuffed his dating request. Wait, did he say he wanted to go on a date? I'm sorry, I was just trying to read all those.
He already got it, Sanger. He got one the other day, like Halloween.
Yeah. I'm glad you don't watch Friends. That's why I watch this channel. I mean, I know Friends. I thought you meant like... Yeah, I'm good. I mean, it's just corny to me. I watched it like in college one year because of one of my roommates, and I laughed. Like, I'm just like, I can't believe that we're like setting like our DVRs for this shit. You know, you can just catch it on reruns all the time, I guess. Oh, so it's only on a computer thing. Yeah, I can't see it, but it'll definitely alert me probably in the if I went to my YouTube studio. But oh my god, this whole time my thing's been on and it's been recording and just filling up my
Your phone.
I'm like, holy shit, I'm just gonna delete. Cut. Oh, thank God.
Well, you got a recording of this live, I guess.
Yeah, I got an audio. Yeah, no. So what I want everybody to take away from this live, and I mean, I'll highlight some questions here and whatnot. I like to keep all my stuff right around 2 hours. I think it's a good, that way you stick with certain topics that really need to be talked about. But I think the question that I would want to take away from this live is, where was that phone? Where was that phone? And it just it was on top of the microwave? No, it was not. It was in the microwave? No, I don't believe that either. I believe that it wasn't there. I believe that it wasn't at the house. Did his dad have it? And then, so at that point in time, they didn't know much. But now when you look at it from our perspective of what we have and who was arrested, and it's like, is there a way that Richard Allen had that phone?
I think you'll be surprised at this ring and just how amazing the dark web can be.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you. I agree with Doug Carter, though. It's 100%. It's very complicated. I think it's very circumstantial. I think they have a lot, because if I have a bunch of screen names and I'm sending stuff to myself because I create them, but then I let you use them, so am I distributing? I mean, do you see how complex it is? You don't know who's who and when you're using what. Then you have to narrow down people that would have been, going over their house. So that's why I think they were doing a lot of surveillance of, what these people's lives were like, before, during, after. I think Travis has, I don't think they just didn't go in that river and start searching for no reason. And if people think that he did it so he could get 5 dropped possession charges, I totally don't think that that's the case. Not at all. Not one bit. Also, who's going to get the reward money of $250,000? What if one of those 2 guys is the reason that Alan got arrested? Do they get the money?
You know what they say about reward money? They hardly ever give it out. It's very hard to get.
I'm just curious. Maybe he took it and now he can afford an attorney. I don't know. It's just interesting.
I mean, it is interesting. Do you want to?
Oh, and then I wanna, and then the next time we we do a live about this is I really want to talk about the gas station, the marathon, and that'll be the next thing that I want to talk about.
I really want to hear about Marathon gas station. Do you want to hear the poem from the shack that everyone thinks is what Doug Carter is referring to when he mentions that in 2019?
Sure.
It shouldn't be too long. It says, breathe in me, deep that I might breathe, and live, and hold me close that I might sleep. Soft held by all you give. Come kiss me, wind, and take my breath, till you and I are one, and we will dance among the tombs until all death is gone and no one knows that we exist. Wrapped in each other's arms, except the one who blew the breath that hides me safe from harm. Come kiss me, wind, and take my breath, till you and I are one, and we will dance among the tombs until all death is gone. I don't know why they think.
That's you said that's the poem.
That's the poem that everyone thinks why Carter mentioned the shack. That's one of the theories. It's that poem.
I don't think that's why.
Do you remember that poem from watching it?
No, I think that there was an abduction. They were saying that these girls were abducted. You guys know that, right? Like, the way that they're wording this is an abduction. And then it was, they found, like, you know, this was, it wasn't like they were murdered. It wasn't like they were just found murdered and not missing. I mean, they were missing. You know, so they were using the term abducted.
Crazy.
I think it's crazy that they were looking for that car too.
The white.
And what kind of, did they ever say what kind of car it was?
I think they did, but what's interesting about it is at first it came out that it was a white Accord or something, and then like early days, like 2017, and then it was like at some point it became, what is it? Not a Focus. What was it? Not a Ford Focus. Chat. Do you guys remember?
Well, I had, actually, it was saying in this case that if this leads to an arrest with this case, as far as reward money goes, by the way, that was just up there. There was no way that he would be giving up DNA for tools being taken, by the way. There's no DNA with that.
Yeah, Mrs. Marble, we were kind of tripping out on that, like how trying to make sense of that. Right?
That's I don't think Reddit can lick my fucking nuts that I don't have. I was trending on Reddit a couple different times. Sorry, for Reddit lovers. I mean, I'm just the shit I see pop up on my. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's true, Mama Mia. They didn't, and that was a crime, right? I mean, it was just, and I think that happens more often than not. They don't give out rewards.
I knew that Hot Ham would do that. I wish they would give Lana all the evidence. This shit would be solved. Yes. I just want to see that once I have that probable cause. I think it's just gonna. He said, Carter said, "Hey, he's excited to tell the story, and the story is going to be told in the courtroom. So that means when they're laying out their case." Mm-hmm. Richard Allen's going, not guilty. I don't see that changing. It's not going to be. Do I see Richard Allen taking a plea deal? No. He is never going to say that he did this. Nobody is ever going to say that they did this. You get what I'm saying?
I don't know about that. I think that there could be, even in the most monstrous person that did this, there could be a sense of, in a small community, not wanting to put the parents through this.
he has to be willing to take a plea deal. He's not going to take a plea deal.
But I'm saying that I don't know that he wouldn't. I wouldn't take that like away from the killer.
Yeah, I'm just saying that somebody,
In your
nobody,
opinion, I know.
in my opinion, he's not. No one's going. It would be anybody. It could be. No one's going to. I think admit when this comes out that they ever did something like this, because then I didn't do it. They have the wrong guy. You know, that's what you're just going to be saying for the rest of your life, whether you did it or not. There's going to be no deal. No one's confessing to this, and there's going to be no deal for it. And even if there was a deal on the he's not taking it. Oh, we're not going to fry you. No, he's still not. There's no deal. It's not happening. The thing that I would be more worried about would be that Richard Allen doesn't get murdered in prison.
I think Doug Carter is going to work hard to make sure that doesn't happen. I think he's worked too hard at preserving the integrity of this case to let that happen. But I mean, there's enough corruption going on that it could very well happen without, even with all the precautions he wants to take and put into place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sick. I think that the level of depravity surrounding this case is just going to blow everyone's minds. I think even the most hardened true crime people that have done it, or even cops.
Yeah, exactly. I was getting ready to answer that for Mod Squad. I went over this in one of my lives, saying that, like, what did he take? What tools did you take? You just go over to your neighbors. Okay. Well, who'd you go over this Chase? Because I was looking at these neighbors. You know what I mean? I was like, I just want to take a look at these neighbors that you would have stole from. Let me get this straight. You know, not too many 28-year-olds are going to have a bunch of tools because they don't have. That's just not what they're into at 28. You're going to take them from, like, you know, the 70-year-old. So let's go ahead. You get this. It's on a Ring camera, right? That you took this. Oh my God. You know. I need the Delphi police down here right now. Mr. Allen, I don't know if he was wasted or what, but he was dancing around in my driveway. So he's dancing in the driveway. Then he just steals my hammer, and then he takes my, you know, saw, and then he takes all my power tools. Like, I can't even, and then he just left, and I think he walked to his house. So I need somebody down here right now.
He just left.
Then he just left like it was like they're his, and here he is on my camera. And so they look at this camera Ring footage, and they're like, "Oh God, yeah, look at he's dancing all right. God, he looks like he fell down, like he was like drunk or something." Why would you ever go in your neighbor's? This now, mind you, this is a guy that's being told when these neighbors were questioned, like, "Oh, he's really helpful. He's really nice." That they keep to themselves or quiet. He stole my sandpaper. And then what's going to happen from it? Hey, Mr. Allen, funny thing, the Golden State Killer also stole a hammer. Yeah, but like, okay, so, hey, Mr. Allen, Miss Cynthia over here, Robinson, she says that you took her tools. We have some footage here. Did you by chance steal? I mean, how does it even come about?
How does it even get to that level where I don't go to your house and say,
how does the neighbor just not go over to Richard's, or fuck going to Richard, I'm going to go to Kathy. Hey, Kathy, get your fucking man and his fucking beer belly out here right now because I want my damn tools back. And she's going to be like, what? Yeah, unless you want me to, you know, go for your cat. You know?
I'm going to go to CVS and get it back from him and tell his boss.
I stole my neighbor's tools before, so it's understandable. And then we have Anthony over here just admitting to his felonies.
Anthony, what did you steal? What did you need so badly that you went over there and got it? Not a Home Depot within sight, huh?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And I want Doug Carter on this. I want you calling Doug Carter right now because he actually cares about people. He'll care about my tools. I'm telling you, this man, and then he was burning stuff the other day. I think he burned my tools. I mean, you would just be like, I think that the neighbor would go over there and be like,
100%.
Hey, your husband, like, look at this. He was in my drive. Oh my God, he was probably drunk. Maybe he thought he was at our house and didn't realize it. Well, all you would do is you would give them the shit back. No, it wasn't me. Look at you. And then maybe the person saw on the Ring camera and was just like, oh my God, you look just like the damn bridge guy. Now, see, that I could see maybe being like a, because like maybe talk like that or something, but, to say, give me your DNA because you took my tool. Like, that's just not going to happen. I mean, what DNA? Like, there's no arrest. There's no nothing. Where's their arrest for his tool? Like, was he arrested for tools? Was he arrested for, that would be, if he stole over $500, it has to be over $500 for it to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I could see maybe the girl was like, oh my God, look at this man. He looks just like the bridge guy. Well, remember, he has this long, hairy-ass goatee right now. I don't know. I'm not really buying all that. But hey, I mean, maybe there was a scuffle.
LNB says up here.
Lana, read the chat, you goof. What chat?
Up here it says, I heard it was a felony because he entered an attached garage.
An attached garage? That if he entered it, would that be trespassing? If he just goes on your property?
Goes in your property and steals sandpaper. It wasn't sandpaper.
In my B&E case, the guy had to submit his DNA on sentencing, so that's why I was wondering. I knew you had a reason why you were wondering. Okay, but so this is the thing. There was no sentencing. There was no nothing. This wasn't even like, did it get to the point that it was reported? And was there an incident report written up? It's breaking and entering. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that Richard Allen had a great excuse to say, no, she invited me over. No, those were my tools that she had taken. She borrowed from me. I took them back because she would not give them for me because she is suffering from, I don't know, dementia over here. I offered my tools up for her. These are not her tools. So I took them back.
But look what Thunder Before Lightning wrote before that it's tweaker activity.
Yeah, somebody should do a citizen's arrest when he was dancing like that. It's like, I think that was actually really out of character for him to do something like that. But then again, who knows? Because somebody that would be doing that like all the time so often, then you're not like a quiet person like you're... I just think that was a very random video. In Indiana, DNA is submitted during all felony arrests, just like fingerprints. But I'm saying there was no... So you're going to sit here and tell me that we really believe... Because he wasn't arrested. They came to his house on Wednesday. Did the search. He didn't go down to the station. You're saying, do you think that right then and there they were like, here, we're going to take some buccal swabs here. Then you'd have to like book him.
Not that, Nikki, congratulations, you're one of them.
So it would just be, I didn't see it getting to that point. Look up the arrest, see if he was arrested. I don't know about there, but in California, the police will not even respond to people's citizens over 600. I'm just...
It's 990 actually now.
They bumped it.
Mm-hmm.
Inflation.
600 don't cut it anymore.
Ah, I got one. Yeah, you do. Oh my god.
Mod Squad gifted that, not that, Nikki. Congratulations.
Why do you think he wasn't booked? I think that it would be in the records. You know what I mean? This happened on Wednesday. They arrested him at CVS on Friday. That's how my understanding of it is, based on
the tool stealing happened on a Wednesday? Is what
No, no, I'm saying that the search.
The search, yes, absolutely. Can we?
So think about that. The search of his property. And if you listen to what Doug Carter was saying, the probable cause, they had a judge sign this. They had a judge. There was a problem. It wasn't like, oh yeah, this judge really signed it because he stole these tools. And you know what? I hope it was. Because it serves him fucking right. Mm-hmm. You dumb fuck. You piece of you know, like when that just, it's like, that doesn't fit with anything that Carter has said. The judge signed the probable cause affidavit. He believed that Bridge guy is the guy, you know. Where are you getting that? That search was on Wednesday. Arrest was on Friday. So when did this alleged felony of tools happen? And I just want to say thank you, Mod Squad, and thank you to all my mods. I'm going to be wrapping this up now.
Mod Squad, you're amazing.
It was so kind of you to gift 10 memberships. Mod Squad gifted 10 memberships.
Amazing. Anthony just going with the love. Thank you, mods. Thank you, LO. Thank you, chat.
Yeah, thank you, mods. Thank you, members. Consider being a member. I'm going to be doing some El Clippa stuff here with Sheldon stuff. You need to follow that case.
Yeah, and that's how you guys can actually help somebody right now. Lana's nonprofit is helping Sheldon with all of what Lana does for Delphi. Imagine what she does for people who need to be exonerated, are in prison for no good reason, and you can help with that.
Yeah, you want to see something? You guys, since I have you guys in chat, I'm sure I can find it really quick.
I love when Mod Squad says that.
What is she
I
saying?
wanted to give something to my amazing subs.
I know, she's the best. You give it, girl. Let's see.
So now Mod Squad is the favorite Boston. Love you, Boston. Love you, Maple. If Bumblebee's here too.
Okay, hold on one second. I just fast forward this to show. Where is this at? Trooper. Okay, right there. You won't be able to see it.
Officer Alex Bitts.
I love Alice.
They were attempting to make contact with possible associates of Tyreek Pugh.
Okay, take a look here. You see that white patch? It looks like it's white there. All it is it's dry pavement. See that? It's just dry pavement. Now, up and over here to the top of your screen, you see that like maroon SUV, a couple legs standing there.
At 12 o'clock.
What?
At 12 o'clock, the maroon.
Yeah, like all the way at the top of the screen, the maroon. Now, the reason that's dry pavement is there was a vehicle that they said, parked there, and then it was moved after, these cops moved it. Well, the order that they said that these witnesses arrived was this van, then the maroon SUV up there, and then down here you see the light coming from, that's the police vehicle. Okay, so that was the order. The van that was moved, that's where that patch is. The up top maroon SUV, and then the police. Well, during this homicide, it started to rain. Okay, so it wasn't raining when it happened. So underneath the body of the victim, which is, you can see these two poles over here, they had then put a tent up over the body. But underneath his body, you can see that it was dry. So before, when this happened, it was dry. His body's laying there, and then all around him looks like the wet pavement. Underneath the cop car, It's dry. But up here, and you're going to have to watch my episodes because it's like a documentary style. Up there on that maroon SUV, it should be dry underneath and it's wet. That's one of the things I was able to find during this wicked investigation, that it is factually improbable that would be wet underneath that SUV up there, because it was there just a minute after that van that you see that was that dry patch there. It was there like 2 minutes after that van was there, but it was there before the police car was there, allegedly. The police car is dry underneath, so how come that's not dry underneath up there? It's because the motherfucking shit didn't happen that way. It was a setup and the police were in on it. Everybody can get fucked. Check it on out. Sunset Secrets. This is, there's episodes, but, this is the type of stuff that I do. And Sheldon Jeter Jr. is factually innocent. His name is famous from the Rachel Del Tondo case. And I work directly with his family. He's in the process of an appeal right now. He was just arrested in 2020 for this homicide. Then he was found guilty in 2021. I was at the majority of that. Cop was there when murder occurred. Exactly. And at the very least, before the witness was there. Who said that the cop wasn't there yet. You get what I'm trying to say? So I deep dive into it like crazy. But it's season 3. If you go to my Sunset Secrets, go to season 3. Start at episode 1. Episode 1's there, episode 2 there. And then these trolls tried to get and mess with episode 3. So I will be putting episode 3 back up. But they did some... They mass reported. It's... yeah, so... but yeah, that's just... Anyway, Sheldon's innocent, but the sad thing is Sheldon was found guilty. But the good thing is that I'm fighting for him. Other people are as well. And I got some of the news outlets now behind, Sheldon for once in his life when that wasn't happening. And he will get a retrial. No doubt about it. So, but yeah, you guys are great. Definitely check it out. And somebody talked about the song. I forget, it was somewhere over here.
The song from your Sunset Secrets?
That one is from Rewind. But this one I think it's this song. Let's see. If I remove that and add that. This one, right? This is why it was so hard for me to pick, and this is what I went with. And this is what she's talking about. Miss Marple, I love that I saw you today.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Lana. Thank you, Mars. Yeah, this is a great song. Your chat's amazing.
Chat is awesome.
He still has his PlayStation, and I see it now. Mamma Mia wave.
You're very welcome, Mamma Mia.
Dark Sea, love you.
Yeah, so I went with this song and got it so that I could have the exclusive rights to play it for all my Delphi stuff. So this is I was debating on what I wanted. So when people were listening and they heard for preview, it's because I was still deciding. I'm very anal about stuff, but.
Oh, you're anal?
About making sure that something is perfect. Yeah, I'm like that. So I had it narrowed down to 3, and then I had it down to 2, and this is the one that I always want, but I was just like, all right, let's go with it. So I know some people were like, oh, I didn't want to hear that preview. Well, you don't have to anymore, but I couldn't decide what I wanted.
I don't want to hear it when it says preview.
Who is it? Who is the artist? Email me and I'll send it to you. email at Lana at Fight for a Family. So I do have a nonprofit, guys. Like, I don't usually say that I'm a YouTuber. I started a nonprofit. So Lana at Fight for a Family.com. There you go. I want to give a special shout out to Maple Beeve. Is Maple Beeve still in here?
I think she is.
She had a rockin' week. She was like doing, she's like super mom, super student, super wifey poo, super friend. But she had like a hell of a week, knocking out some of this, some of that, and she was here tonight. So I just want to say thanks. Thank you for being here. Love you, girl. So you guys are great. Until next time, there'll be I have some videos coming out, as well as the next live really focusing on the marathon, as well as CCTV and the election from this past leading up to this 2022. Some money, follow the money. All right, guys. Atlanta, have you made a family tree of... Oh, yeah, I did. I do have that, too. I'll start releasing some of this stuff. So... All right, guys, be kind, and thank you so much. So, yeah, make sure you guys like the video, or either way, thumbs it up, thumbs it down. And then consider being a subscriber or a member. Subscriptions are free. Mm-hmm. So, don't miss out.
And thumbs it up, guys, because it helps the algorithm.
Yes, and last but not least, thank you, Bella, for being here on panel.
Thanks for having me.
Duh. So, all right, guys. And then, hey, all the new 9 to 10 new members, check out your membership.
Try on your memberships, because Mod Squad said that only 9 were given out. So you guys who don't have a membership, there's one out there. So turn it on.
Oh yeah, go. Yeah. Say that you'll accept memberships or whatever. Yeah, that's right. Do that. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Take care. Till next time. Whoa.